We all show up to work every day. But why? It's because we love our jobs, right? Well, not everybody loves their jobs. Let's get that right. It's money. Enough beating around the bush about it. We all show up to work for that same one reason, to get paid. So now that we're talking about money, I have two very important questions for you to think about. One, have you been impacted by financial stress? And I'm going to say most of us have, because financial stress is literally the #1 factor of stress impacting us as individuals. Question two, have you been formally taught how to manage your money? And unfortunately, most of us are going to say no. We were taught how to go make it, but we weren't taught how to manage it. And that is a fundamental learning gap. So today, we're digging in, and we're breaking the rule of no longer talking about money. Because what do people say all too often? Don't talk about money, religion, or politics. Well, today, that's going to change. And we're going to talk about how financial stress impacts us and what we can do about it. So I spent the last 2 years researching financial wellness, and more particularly, how financial stress impacts employees. And here's what I found. Regardless of income level, we are all impacted by financial stress. There's my 2 years of research for you. You're welcome. And thinking about wellness, there's generally a lot of programs in place, right? Medical, dental, health spending accounts, gym memberships, Muffin Tuesdays. But how many of us actually have a financial wellness program in place? Not a lot. Yet it's that one consistent thing that brings us to work every day to get paid. So I do work for a financial wellness company, and we're a social enterprise who thrives on asking big questions. Like, what is it about financial stress that impacts individuals? And we have companies coming to us, asking us why and how they should be implementing a financial wellness program. And the interesting piece, no matter where you're at, is we share that really when it comes down to your money, you fall in 1 in 4 buckets. 1, you're living in debt, or 2, you're living paycheck to paycheck, 3, you're saving and investing, or 4, you're doing quite well financially. So let's dig into the first 2, living in debt and paycheck to paycheck. Guess what? This makes half of us. So again, regardless of actually how much money we make, half of us are living in debt or paycheck to paycheck. And it's getting tougher in these buckets. Let's talk about inflation. Let's highlight mortgage renewals. Right now, I'm paying 2%. If I were to renew, that's an additional $1,200 per month that I'd be paying. And that's just my number. Have you thought about what yours would be? Do you think your colleagues know what theirs are? Some people don't even have any money at the end of the month, let alone that much. So a question we get you to think about if you fall in these 2 buckets is if your income were to stop coming in right now, no more money, how long can you maintain your current lifestyle? And for half of us, we cannot afford to live without that guarantee of that next check coming in. And that is a scary thought. So what are the other half doing? Generally, they're saving and investing. They're just really not sure what their money is really doing for them. Or they're doing quite well financially. The question that comes to mind is, if they weren't formally taught, how did they learn? Well, they generally had parents that taught them what they knew, assuming what they knew were decent. Or they went to the school of hard knocks and learned what not to do by making a couple mistakes, like maxing out that first credit card and realizing, sheesh, probably not in my best interest to continue doing that. Crazy thing though, 30% of Canadians actually don't pay their credit card off in full every month. And according to recent stats, that number is almost 50% in the US. So not everybody has learned that skill to pay their credit card off every month. So what this shows us is we weren't actually provided a space to learn this stuff in a way that really makes sense. Now, that's not to say that there's not self-help books or financial institutions out there trying to teach you what they know, but did anybody ever felt a slight bias when entering in a bank looking for advice? Like, why is it that they can't teach me how to manage my cash flow better or tell me about every investing opportunity? But they sure can tell me how much more credit I have entitled to me or what products I can buy for them. And can we talk about how there actually is no stock store? Like, I can't go and browse them off the shelf, like, and pull them off like I can a pair of shoes? Okay, I know that one sounds funny, but these are questions we start to think about when really trying to find a place to learn this education. And this is exactly what financial literacy education addresses. So the next question I want you to think about, why should I care about financial literacy education? Well, financial stress impacts our mental health. Financial stress impacts our overall well-being. So we want to put financial wellness on the radar, because if we don't, then misconceptions about our money are going to continue to impact us. And let's talk about the big one. If I had more money, it will solve all my problems. Am I right? Yeah, let's dig into this one. Anybody heard of the sport Major League Baseball? I'm going to assume most of you have. Anybody know how much those athletes get paid? The short answer, a lot. Some of the highest paid athletes. So why is it that they go bankrupt 4 times the national average? Do they have a problem making money? No, but there's obviously an issue with learning how to manage it. So why is it that we see some of the highest income earners with some of the highest debt levels? It's that more money, more problems concept, am I right? We think the more we have, the better off we are? Yeah, no, that's not always the case. And let's think about it from an employee perspective. Most of us have asked for a raise in our careers. And let's say your boss is nice and rewards you an additional $5,000. Woo woo, yay for us! Only to find out it really doesn't make a difference at the end of the day by the time we get our paycheck home. And why is that? Because we've already started living up to that extra means. And if you don't know how to manage the money you have coming in, there's a really good chance you won't know how to manage the additional, which means that financial stress you're experiencing actually doesn't go away. So let's flip it, and let's think about it from an employer's perspective. Can they continue to give raises year over year? Can they continue to keep up with the rate of inflation? No. Some companies can barely keep their doors open right now, let alone try to keep up with that. What people forget is as the price of cauliflower goes up, so does the price of running a business. So generally, the next question is, well, how does this impact me as an individual? And I'm going to give you 2 examples that we know hit many households. The divorce rate is sitting at about 50%. And we know that money impacts relationships. There's generally the saver and the spender, and they always seem to partner up, right? You have the saver over here putting money away for a rainy day, and the spender piling up the Amazon Prime boxes at the door. And how fun is that for a conversation-wise when you're not on the same page as your spouse? Yeesh, it's stressful, right? So if you had financial education in place, guess what? It can help make that money talk a little bit easier. And if not, we know that financial issues are a leading cause to separation. So do you think separation and divorce impacts your ability to do your job? Impacts your ability to make money? Absolutely it does. You typically don't show up to work, leave your divorce hat at the door and say, hey boss, don't worry, I'm not stressing on the fact that I gotta pay child support, negotiate spousal, have to give away half my pension. Yeah, we're human. Of course it's gonna impact you. So if you had financial support in place, guess what? It's there to make sure that that stress is a little bit more alleviated through that significant life change. And let's talk about one other thing we all hope to achieve one day: retirement. There's another commonality for us. We are all hoping to retire one day. Wait, what? We can talk about that? The fact that we're working right now so one day we don't have to? Cool, totally fine by me. Problem is, 70% of us actually don't have a retirement plan in place. So regardless if you have a pension or savings or other benefits through your employers, you typically set it and forget it. And you don't stop and think, I wonder what my lifestyle looks like in retirement and how do I budget for it? No, we ostrich. We put our head in the sand. Some people hold their breath and hope they've done enough, okay? And guess what? That financial education piece, it can help prepare you for that so that you're not thinking that it's too late in the game or haven't put enough thought into it. So that answer to that why does this matter is because money impacts us, all of us, and for a variety of reasons. And if we have financial education, that helps us work on our overall well-being. So the next question I want you to think about is, so what do we do about it? How do we address this fundamental learning gap that is literally impacting so many of us at work, at home, and throughout our lives? We know the short answer, right? Get it in schools. Teach the next generation how to budget, taxes, save, the exciting world of compounding interest. Okay, we're on that, but what do we do with the millions of us that are done school, that are really showing up to work every day, dealing with life curveballs? And let's talk about those curveballs when it comes to our money. Man, they're generally hard, fast, and out of nowhere. We have all had that bill, the unexpected one, am I right? The tax bill, the hole in the roof, the fact that my kid wants to play competitive sports and they're really good. Yeah, that's stressful when we're not prepared. And if you have financial education in place, it helps reduce the impact that that life curveball has on us. So where's the best place to learn this? It's actually at work. What we know is employers that offer financial wellness, they typically have higher productivity. And it's argued that absenteeism is actually reduced. And it's an easier spot for us to make financial wellness a priority. So wouldn't it be great if we could start working on our wellness through financial wellness? And wouldn't it be great if we could start talking about money and the stressors around it and normalize that conversation? And wouldn't it be great to work on your overall well-being by learning how to manage your finances? And this is when I look to each of you to consider the impacts that financial wellness has on us. Because if we're financially well, we're happier. And if we're financially well, we're healthier. And if we're financially well, we are higher producing employees. And this is what will emerge from a commitment to financial wellness. Because at the end of the day, having other programs in place to support your pillars of wellness, they're good. But what was that one consistent thing that brought us to work every day? Money. So in order to get our minds right, we need to get our money right. Banks aren't doing it. Educational institutions are kind of doing it. So let's bring financial education to the workplace and make that commitment to our overall well-being. Thank you.